I want to thank you for coming to this wonderful party to honor me and Janet. You all have been a big part of my life, and your love and support will always be in my heart. A special shout out to our awesome party planners. Could you please stand up? You ladies are the best. I have been blessed with a super and supportive school family throughout my career, as well as a loving, real family. Together you have made all my hopes and dreams come true, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. To paraphrase a famous quote, and appropriately it's from baseball, I am the luckiest woman on the face of the earth. I'd like to share with you some of my memories of teaching. I didn't start out to be an educator. I earned my bachelor's degree in sociology. I also didn't plan on starting a family so soon, but we're very glad that we got Scott, and we love him dearly. That's another story. Anyway, when my second son, Brian, was in nursery school, his teacher went on maternity leave. I said I'd like to take over. I think I could do a good job, and I really love children. So, after I taught for a while, I realized that I absolutely loved children, and I loved teaching young children. I loved it so much that I went back to school to get certified. In 1980, we moved to Tolland, and after a while, I decided I wasn't a good stay-at-home mom. I'm a little hyperactive and considerate. So I applied for a preschool job at the Y in East Hartford. I had made a very good friend, Linda Murphy, in our neighborhood, and we swapped babysitting for each other. But another job opened up for a teaching assistant, and I dragged Linda along to East Hartford. She and I have a wonderful friendship that has lasted all these years. Thank you, Linda, I love you. I also want to mention here that we would drag Gary down to nursery school with us too. And you're absolutely right. He was probably the most challenging student I'll ever have. And the story about the saltine crackers is that he figured because I was his mom, I was going to give him more than one. That was a very bad day. That, yeah, Linda can attest to that. But he grew up to be a fine young man, and I'm very proud of him. When my fourth son, Timmy, was born, I couldn't travel to East Hartford anymore. It was too far. So Linda and I started a program in Tolland Heights. But then after Amy entered first grade, my daughter, I decided I needed a career change. I announced it to Larry. I said I wanted to teach kindergarten. He didn't think that was so much of a change. Steve Shackner hired me, and for that I will be always grateful. Was it my singing? Or was it the beautiful recommendation Bob Lincoln wrote?
More than the singing.
It was very hard to leave Linda, so I decided to teach nursery school in the morning and kindergarten in the afternoon. But then that didn't work out either. The time just wasn't right. So to follow a theme, I substituted for Dawn Boucher, who left on maternity leave. She was in one hallway, and I was teaching in another hallway. Now I'm going to tell you something absolutely incredible. I shared a room with Sherry Barnum. We were the original odd couple. And I'll tell you, I was the slobby one. That went on for 4 years. Very surprised. Sherry taught me a lot, and I was really sad to leave her after 4 years. Thank you, Sherry. I love you. So after for my own room. I landed one. He gave it to me. And I loved it for 2 reasons, although it didn't have any windows. It was all mine, and it was next to Dottie Shackway. I loved working with Dottie, and she became my Hanukkah buddy, playing a mean game of dreidel with our students. We developed a beautiful friendship, and I was lucky to have her 3 grandchildren in my kindergarten class. She came once a week to help, and I even talked her into substituting for a while for me. She did that really well. I love you, Dottie. Let's talk about Karen Keyes for a bit. She was my para for 2 students. I had them for 2 years each. I learned quickly that she has a heart of gold. She tried to be stern with these students, but like me, she couldn't keep a straight face at times. Right, Karen? Karen and I became fast friends. We loved to go out to eat and shop together, and of course, we are awesome walking buddies. I look forward to our lunchtime walks and the walks on the weekends. We haven't run out of things to talk about yet. I love you, Karen. Then at Birch Grove, we had a beautiful new school, and thank you, Steve, again. I needed to get my master's degree. Does anybody remember that horrible year? So I enrolled in Eastern U and went to classes with Carol Murphy and Linda Rollo. Linda and I took a 1-credit computer course. It turned out that we were the only ones without a computer background. So instead of teaching and being bored, the professor did it all for us. I was so impressed with the web page I created, but I had no idea how I made it. Now, I think that speaks volumes about my technological prowess. I had to use the computer to type my papers. So one day when I had a paper due, it was in the middle of the summer, I was taking summer courses. It was about 125 degrees up in my house in the room I had a computer in. It was hot. Well, my children were downstairs and I needed help, so I yelled downstairs for someone to please come up and help. They must have all been rolling their eyes. Timmy came to the rescue. He looked at the screen and thought my tables looked awesome. The only problem was I wasn't making tables. I didn't need tables for paper. I have no idea how they popped up on the screen. Does that sound familiar, Danielle Jones? Danielle has an ear for my yelling, "Help!" at school. And luckily for me, she knows just what that means. I've known Danielle since she was 8 when she was in my Messy Play program. Appropriate name, huh? She has been my senior and junior option student, and now is a wonderful teacher. I'm so proud of her. I love you, Danielle. Marilyn Fallon is the next one to try to help me, but has come up with the conclusion that it's really my computer. Danielle Fitz used to help me out after school. Now I know we didn't have to get my stuff on North Face. It's true north, and that's probably why I had so much trouble getting all my evaluations. I miss Danielle Fitz and our after-school cheating so that Tom can be impressed that I can use the computer and he can tell everybody. Well, sometimes when it really gets bad, I can always run in the office and get Karen or Heather to come down to my room and help me, because by that time I look wild and they really feel sorry for me. But when all else fails, I will call Tom up, and he will also come and try to help me out. I will admit that even Donna Boucher can help me out. But I have to tell you that there are times she will call me in her room and ask me to help her, and let me speak briefly about my sweet and loyal friend Donna, who my family will agree makes the most delicious assortment of cookies, which they wait for every Christmas. Donna and I have become so close after working next door to each other for many, many years. We get each other through the day, and more than that, through life. I will always show up in her room asking for something I need or want, and she always has everything and shares everything with me. She is so generous and caring. Now, I'm not as organized as Donna, which is hard to believe. But I want to tell you that this week, I went to her room and I said, "Do you have that Clifford's book about field day?" And she says, I'm really too busy now, just look up on my shelf. And I looked and I said, yeah, that one looks familiar. I can't find my copy. I'll give it to you when I'm done. So I read it to my kids. I brought it back to her. And after school she said, oh, your name was in this book. And I also want to say that I am lucky to be in the kindergarten program with such talented and dedicated teachers. We all get along so well, and we like to socialize out of school. So a shout out to my team, and my honorary and past team member, Diane Beaton. We miss her very much, but we're very happy that I have some stories about you too that we'll share later. and Anthea, soft-spoken and sweet Anthea. Love you guys. And sweet Tara, thank you for all your support these past years. You are such a positive soul and take good care of me, my tables, and my chairs. I love you, Tara. Tom, you have been my cheerleader since the moment you stepped in the Birch Grove door. I think we cemented our relationship on the first day when you hugged me. I made him hug me. I am grateful for our many mom and son talks. I will grab Tom when I think something is not quite right, and I will usher him into the room with his arm, and I'll say, sit down, we need to have a mother-son talk. And we are very fortunate to have Barbara Daly Burns to our staff. Thank you, Tom, I love you. She's a wonderful person and a wonderful addition. I have to mention my friend Cathy Madigan. She and I started a mentor program for our students several years ago. It was going pretty well, but as more curriculum was added and schedules became impossible to coordinate, the program ended. But luckily our friendship didn't end. Actually, it blossomed. We always had planned picking up supplies for our activities around going out to dinner. That was great. And I love that we continue to make plans to get together and always around food. Sometimes we even include Larry and Justin. I love spending time with Cathy. It's always so much fun. Love you. Throughout the years, I have had the good fortune to have had talented and knowledgeable paraprofessionals working with me. Just a shout out to some of you. Let's start with Janet Unicello. Where are you, Janet? Well, she was my first paraprofessional. Actually, we worked together in preschool, and then we came up together in kindergarten. And I was just telling her that I was thinking, she worked tirelessly with me, and in those days I didn't have to worry about the computer. We were up the night before school ended, and we were making scrapbooks for the kids. It was our wedding anniversary. And I told Larry I'd be home a little later on. I think it was 12 o'clock at night, and we were still finishing up, pasting pictures on the pages. Thank thank you, Janet, for all you've done. Love you. Louise Malteni. She is the most kind-hearted person I know. I loved working with her. She'll take on any child, whether the child is in my class or not in my class. We worked really well together, and we also developed a wonderful friendship. I had 2 of her children for kindergarten, and she's just an amazing woman. Thank you, and I love you. Okay, we're going to go on. I also want to say that Cindy Nutini was also one of my first paraprofessionals, and she learned very quickly how organized I was. I could think it very well. And Mary Dene with Cynthia. I think one day they were organizing supplies in my room, putting them in neat little piles. But excellent and talented reading paraprofessionals. In fact, they taught me a lot that I didn't know. They were just wonderful with the kids. Love you guys. I'm just going to mention Marilyn Fallon again. She was a parent in my room, a reading parent in my room. We developed a friendship. I had her son in my class too, and he was a fan of Hanukkah, and she would remind me all the time. He would just yell, "Light the candles, light the candles!" And she's back with me this year, and it has been absolutely wonderful. We just picked up where we left. Love you. I also want to say Karen Kais again. She was just wonderful in my room. And all these people never told any of my secrets about. I once had crime tape put over my desk, and I came in that morning, and I thought, oh my God, what happened? And somebody said, it's the mess you left on your desk. Some things don't change. Amanda Jurgensmeyer, where are you? You're out there too. I have had the good fortune to have her for 2 years, and now she's my slave. We work extremely well together. She's a dear person, and I love you. Mary Kotzik, and did she leave? Is she still here? Always loved your sense of humor. Got it. And thank you. I think you were in my room for almost a year. But I loved having you, and I loved having your son. Love you, girl. And Jody Marcialo. You're somewhere, aren't you here? Jody? Jody! We had quite a year that year. Let me see, one of the students that we were watching ran into the bathroom and locked the door and we couldn't get in. Yes, it was a very exciting year. I think Louise was still in there too. Yep. The 3 of us did our very, very best, and good job, ladies. Love you. And of course, I just have to mention my dear friend Diane Bracken, whom I miss extremely. She has left a hole in my heart, but I think of her very fondly. She was a wonderful para. She worked very hard, and she did very well by the kids. So you ladies are the best of the best, the glue that holds our school together, and I thank you. Even if you haven't worked in my room, I know I have probably flagged you down so I could run to the bathroom. I want to say your patience and support, all the paras, are something I won't ever forget, and I love you all. Please be grateful I'm cutting this short. And if I left anyone out, I'm really sorry, and come up and lambaste me later. So, I was thinking about the good old school days when on Fridays we would go to margaritas. And I would like my little retirement partner to come up. Go ahead. I have given my granddaughter a job. And maybe she can ask her cousin. Scott grabbed his head, banged his head, I just stepped on. She's going to pass out. And you know, I couldn't have gone through a retirement dinner without writing a song myself. And then I forced my new friend Janet because we've really bonded very well through this. And she's so happy with me. We're going to pass out. We're going to pass out.
We're out of time.
A refrain. Maddie, Max, can you help pass out to the tables? This is the refrain. We're all going to practice. I just want to say though, going on to margaritas, on Fridays there was the usual cast of characters, Susan Parvinsky. And Susan Parvinsky and I have some great stories to tell. Pat Kronk, Scott, Sherry, Kim Dupuy, Kara, Tyler, and various and sundry other staff members. But we could always count on my husband Larry to show up. I think he secretly loved my school pals almost as much as I do. So in honor of the good times at margaritas, I wrote a song for Janet and me to sing for you, to tell you just how we feel, and the refrain is going to be coming around the mountain here. This is to the tune of, what are we singing to? Mamma Mia.